Today we're going to be looking into an introduction to web design. You understand? My name is Chris. I've already introduced myself. What is web design? What is web design? Some of us have visited a lot of websites. We have navigated through a lot of websites. We have used a lot of websites. So, what is this website? How do you design a website? What is it all about? So web design is the skill and discipline of production and maintenance of websites, which include interface design, page coding, hosting, search engine optimization, and so on and so forth. So you understand? Now, when it comes to web design, first of all, is a skill that that you have to apply to what to get a design, just like what we are seeing here now. Like you can see this is a design. And basically what you guys are doing is what? Front end web design. So it's about what people are seeing. Because when somebody enters a website, the person sees the interface, the person sees the design. Now you have to be skillful enough to what? Get this design for the person so that once somebody visits your site, the site will be appealing to the person. The person can now, feel welcome, can navigate through the site and assess what the site is all about. Now, this web design skill requires you to what? Be able to code. You should also be able to host the site. After designing this site, you need to put it online. When we talk about hosting, we actually mean bringing it to an online space where people can actually visit it, because when you are designing a website, it's just basically on your computer, your local host. But when you now take it to the online server, people can actually visit your website from anywhere in the world. You can now tell somebody, hey, I have a website, please can you visit it and see what it's all about. Search engine optimization. When we talk about search engine optimization, when you go to Google now to look up for something, you find out that Google giving you list of different websites. Let's take for instance, let me just go to Google. I am looking for how to cook. Now you can find out that what we are seeing here are list of websites that's talking about how to cook. All these things are different websites talking about what how to cook. Now, why are these websites appearing here? Because they are well optimized and there's an SEO work that was done on those websites. That's why you are seeing them there. Now, that's what this search engine optimization does for you. It helps your site be available on search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and the rest of them. So once your site is well optimized, you can actually appear on search engine, based on ranking and co. So this once you have all these skills, now you find out that you become a web designer, and you can be able to apply this skill and design site for people and collect money. Now, uses of web design. What do we use web design to do? Just like I said, a lot of us use web design on daily basis for different activities. Now, these websites, some of them can be used for school management portals. If you are in school already, you can find out that most of the time what we do now is most of our online payments, course registration, all of them are done on the website. Things like forum, chat, even WhatsApp has the website version of it. You can chat with that. Marketplaces, e-commerce, entertainment website, official website, just like let's say our company website, techocraft.com. When you visit, it's an official website. So these are a lot of things. There's no limitation to what you can do with a website. There's a lot of things you can actually achieve with a website. You understand? So once you have this skill, it's just like you having the whole internet on your hand. You can actually do and undo a lot of things, with this website skill. Now let's go deep into understanding how a website works. Now, when we talk about a website is made up of a collection of different web pages. Now, when it comes to a website, you'll seeing things like the home, the about us, the contact us, frequently asked questions, and the rest of them. Now, these are the things that make up a website. You understand? So when all these things are together, you call that thing what? A website. Now, when you come to a website, there's two kind of what? Web pages in a website. Now, one of the web pages are called a static page, and one of it also is called a dynamic page. But let's look first on a static page. You understand? Now, how do you know that a page is static? So just like when I go to a website, I visit the home page. How do I know that the home page of that website is static? Now, look at what happens here. A static web page is one that does not change when a site visitor requests it. It's the one that does not change when a site visitor what requests it. Just like a typical example is our home page in our in techocraft.com. Now, when you visit techocraft.com, it's a static page. You understand? So come there tomorrow, come next tomorrow, the information there is still the same. It's not changing except we just decided to what? Make some changes there, add some new designs, add some new picture. But apart from that, once you request to view our page, it just give you the same information it gave you yesterday. Now, this is a typical example of what? A static web page. You understand? Now, how do you know a web page? The step to knowing a web page, when you request for a web page in a browser. No, you visit a website through a browser. You understand? So web browser requests a static page. Now, what the web browser does for you is just an agent that interacts with the server. So when the web browser comes, when you enter an address is just like your website. Maybe let's say www.techocraft.com. You type it into your web the browser and click your enter button. You understand? Now, what happened at that particular point in time is that the browser tried to communicate with the server and say to the server, do you have any address existing that is called techocraft.com? You understand? Now, if there is, what will happen is that the web server will return that page to the browser. Now, the browser will now display it for the user that is requesting the page. You understand? It's just as simple as that. Now, I use my browser, request for a page. I want to see what is this page, what is inside this page. Then the browser make request to the server, and the server returns the information to the browser. The browser displays it for the word user. Just as simple as that. So with that information now, that's how you know that something is a static word page. Now, when we talk about a dynamic web page, what is a dynamic web page? A dynamic web page is modified by the server before it's sent to the requesting browser. Now, let me give you a typical example of a dynamic web page, just like you visiting your timeline on Facebook. You understand? When you visit your timeline on Facebook, it's purely dynamic. You understand? Every information is not information you see in this minute. Even as you are refreshing it, there's different information are just popping out for you. That is a typical example of a dynamic web page. And now, what will also make you to understand that it's a dynamic web page, just take for instance, like you are not logged in, you try to request access your timeline. What will happen? It will log you out. You understand? So it's a dynamic web page. It's information there is being gotten from maybe the server or the database or whatever. So it changes over time. Now let's look at a typical example of you knowing what a web browser is all about. Now, web browser requests dynamic page. So maybe when I go to my browser, I type for www.facebook.com. Now, the next thing that happens is that after the browser make request to the server, the web server will find that page and pass it to an application server. What is an application server? Now, we as the developers, we as the programmers, we write a code, to checkmate that a client coming to access a particular web page, whether it's an authorized, a user or not. That's why sometimes when you already logged out of your page, maybe you are seeing that page because of your cache or your cookies or something that is holding it for you, and immediately you refresh that page. The next thing happens, it throws you back to the login page, telling you that your section have expired or something happened. You understand? Now, what happened that time is the application server that actually checked to see whether those requirements that you need for you to access that page is intact. Now, when those requirements are not there, what happens? It not logs you out, or it knocks you out of that page, so you cannot be able to access it. Now, the next step says application server scan page for instruction and finish page. You understand? Just like what I said, it checks forward whether the person requesting for that page has the necessary authentication to actually access that page. Application server passes finish page back to web server. Web server send finish page to the requesting browser. Now, this is in an example when all the requirements have been met. Maybe you have the authentication, you are well authenticated. Sometimes when you log into your Facebook and you set the cookies, it can last for more than 1 year or thereabout. You understand? So each time you access it, you just do. But when you clear your cache, what happens that all those authentication that is making Facebook to recognize that you are the user coming in, they disappear. So the next time you try to log in again to your this thing, it will log you out, tell you that you don't have access to what, to view those pages, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, web design consideration. As you are going into web design now, what are the things you need to consider to be a very good web designer? You understand? Now you need to consider what security. Security is top notch when it comes to web design. You need to what, do everything possible to make sure that your website is what, secured. You understand? Following there's no particular security measure you put on your website that you will say, hey, my website is now secured. No, the thing there is that you just keep looking for loopholes and what, covering it, even though that there are some certain basic things you can do on your website that will just get this secure, just like putting up like SSL on your site, installing SSL on your site, hosting it on a very secured hosting like VPS or dedicated servers. That can actually give you an edge, but that doesn't make your site fully secured. That's why you see all these big companies, they keep hiring hackers to just keep trying stuff on their website to find loopholes and cover up for the loopholes, as the case may be. Now, another important thing to consider when you're going into this field is file size. You understand? A lot of people think it's all about making a site very beautiful, putting around images around the website, you know, flying things up and down that makes a website very, very wonderful. Yes, it might look attractive, but on the long run, you find out that those things are not really, really good for the website. You understand? Now, you have to consider those things, like, just like, okay, let's take for instance somebody trying to visit YouTube now. Now, before you go into to go out to visit YouTube, you must be prepared that, hey, my data is gonna burn. You understand? The same thing happen to when your website is very loaded with information like images, beautiful things, JavaScript, or all these things that can make your site slow down. Now, when all these things are there now, you find out that it should be consuming a lot of data for people to view your website. Sometimes you find people putting a very quality image on their website, and when you visit that website, the image takes time to be loading until the image appears. Now, that process is loading is actually sucking away data from your client, and you find out that even the response time of that your web pages, it can be quite different from somebody. If you just open your website and compare somebody's website that has no much images, you find out that the person's site will load faster than your own. Okay, just take for example sites like, is it Naira Rand? You find out how simple that site is. Even though there's no much design, people might say this thing is very ugly. Yes, it's ugly, but the response time is crazy, because that's exactly what is needed in website. So if you are designing a website, if you want to be a good website designer, you need to consider all those things, when going to designing, when you are designing your pages. Ensure that the images you are using are not too, big. The sizes of those images are not too big, and you are not putting a lot of features that can slow down your web pages, because when your page takes time to respond, you understand, it make people to be like, this site is not working. You understand? Now, another thing you need to consider is the content of your web pages. You understand? So, if you are building a website for a particular audience, you need to know what kind of content they need. You understand? Because when you're building a website, you're actually building it for some particular people. You're building it for some group of people that will be visiting it. So you need to know what are the things that will attract those people. You understand? Just like if I'm building a website for a church now, and somebody will come there and start seeing things on Quran or all these Arabic symbol, you see, it doesn't make sense. So the same thing is applicable. So when you know your particular audience, you need to know you know the kind of content they want, and these are the things you need to put in your website so that you can attract those kind of people you need in your website. Just like I said before, your audience, you need to consider who are the audience I'm building this web page for or website for. This will give you an edge to know what kind of design they would like. You understand? If this website is basically for women, you have to start looking out for what color appeal women, what design are very good for women, what this and that. If it's a general site, you also know what is the general color I need to use that will appeal everybody. You understand? So these are the things you need to consider. What are the kind of audience you are expected to see in your website so that you don't scare them away with the way your site is looking or the way things is happening there. So you need to do something that will attract those people and so on and so forth. So another thing you need to consider is space layout. You understand? Don't jam pack your design. Don't jam pack your design. Don't make things make your site so readable for people. Anybody can just come there and see what they want to see. Don't make things too cumbersome or too jam packed. Don't put things together or fly things around. So space things out very well, partition things very well so that when somebody is coming to your site, it doesn't have distraction because there's certain sites you go in, there's a lot of things distracting there. Something is moving here, something is moving there. Now the eye, cannot even concentrate on what is coming there to see because a lot of things just happening at the same time. So you don't want to have that kind of site. Just like going to a site, there's a lot of ads, flying around. In fact, that people avoid such sites. You understand? So make sure that your everything is well spaced out and your layouts are well in order. Alignment and co. So once you consider all these things, you definitely good to go with your design. Okay, just for instance, still under that, you can see this thing, file size, ensure maximum web page size to improve what web page upload and download what speed. You can see this. Imagine your site is as big as 1 gig. That means for every time somebody wants to view your site, it will take 1 gig of data for the person to be able to access your page. You understand? So you have to make your page so light that once somebody just requests for it, it should just appear immediately. So your audience, you already know you need to know who your target audience are before going into what a design. Now consider your content as well. Consider space out your layout and so on and so forth. So make sure that everything is well spelled out and the layouts and the columns, everything is very balanced before designing. So web design too, as you're going into this course, even though the facilitators will still introduce you guys to some other things you're going to use for designing web processors, things like Notepad. You can use your Notepad to design and use the WordPad to design. For graphics, we can introduce you to Firewall, CorelDRAW, or even Canva. You can use it for your design. Maybe when you're designing websites, you deal with images. You can use this to actually design your images, design some of the things, format your image, and so on and so forth. Now, some of the HTML editors, Front Page and Dreamweaver, though we might not be using this, can be using things like VS Code and the rest of them. The facilitators will definitely show you the best editors to use for the class. Now, what are the elements of a web page? Now, for a good web page, a good web page is supposed to have what? A header. Now, what is contained in the header? In the header, you see things like navigation, see things like the logo, see things like the name of the company or whoever you're designing the website for. So when you are designing a website, you need to have these elements in here that a web page is supposed to have a header. Then the next one is a website or web page supposed to have what? A navigation bar. Now the navigation bar, what the importance of navigation bar? It allows people to navigate through your site. It's not like when somebody comes to your site and he moves to another page, the person doesn't know how to go back again. He doesn't know how to go front. He doesn't know what to do again. So you should have enough navigation. Sometimes people even go as far as putting navigation within the body of the website so that as you are scrolling through and you feel like you want to go somewhere else, you can just see somewhere asking you to join us, contact us, all this kind of things. So people can easily navigate through your site. So it's very important you consider all these things. Now your content area, sorry. You also have to have a content area. The content area is where you actually tell what the page is all about. If it's the contact us page, you have to have an area where you have what things like your phone number, emails, and everything that has to do with contact us. The same thing goes with the about us page. You have to start telling about the company and these things. So you have to design it very well and all these things. So these are things that are needed for a web page to be a complete web page. The last one is what? The footnote or the footer. So every good web page is supposed to have a footer. Like that's the ending part of it, where you see things like the copyright information and other links that can actually lead you back to other pages and so on and so forth. So every good web page is supposed to have these four elements, which is the header, the navigation bar, the content area, and the footnote. Now, once you have all these things, then you know that you already have a complete web page. Now look at how a page layout might look like, If you this is a typical example of how Facebook look like. Facebook have the header, then it has the two sidebar and by the content area, and it has like a footer down here. So if you are very familiar with the layout of Facebook, I think this is what it looks like. So principle of good design. These are the five principles of good design. Typography. Now, when you talk about typography, you're talking about your text. You understand? So you have to know the kind of text you use, the text font, the text format, the font families, and all those things. So everything that has to do with text, it's very important you consider them because there's kind of text you use in your website people cannot even read. You understand? This kind of text you use, people will not be able to, it might not be so appealing to the eyes. So you have to consider all those things. Then you need to know when to make a text bold. You need to know when to make a bold a text of small size and thereabout. Now, working with colors, I normally tell my students if you want to design a website, please let the color not be more than three. At most, two colors is enough. You can play around with them. Don't go and do color rioting. Now, you now find somebody in a particular website, you are seeing green, you are seeing yellow, you are seeing red, you are seeing black, you understand? So you have to maintain, a little, don't use too much of colors in your website. When you do that, it becomes color out and then you deceive people's eye and you distract people with that. So just maintain like two or three colors, two at most, like two colors is enough, you understand? Now, balance composition, the edges of your design, you have to balance things up. It's just like when you're designing something, one column is by the left hand, then the other one is on the center, the other one is on the left, the other one is on the right. Everything is just scattered. You need to align your columns. If it's those are is aligned to the left, you align them very well to the left. I think I will still show you something like that. Then use of white space. White space is very, very important in design. Though sometimes you can use your background could be something else, but it is always beautiful when your background is what? White. It has this welcoming feel more than any other color. So try as much as possible that your background is, white space. Though sometimes people just, put black in the background color or any other color. Though it's not bad, but sometimes, the white is always better. White is always better to use. Now, creative columns and techniques, the edges of your columns, you might style them to make them look better, nice, and all those things. So, but with time, you guys will see all these things when the other practical section starts up. Now, this is a typical example of typography. You can see this thing. This site is basically for children. You can see how the text are playing around. You cannot use this kind of font for a professional website now because it look a little bit childish. So that's the things with what typography. You have to know with the particular people you are building for. Then you know the kind of font you're using. Don't do what you like. You understand? Because one of the challenges most web designers have is they do things based on what they like. They use color based on the color they like. No, if you want to be a good designer, you don't need to do that. You need to go out of your way to do things. You understand? So, but if you are thinking of, well, because I like yellow, I'll just keep using yellow in all my design. You understand? You need to think. Those people I'm building this website for, do they actually like this yellow? Would people with yellow color, appeal other people? So these are the things you need to consider as what a good web designer. Now, another thing is color. Just like I say now, if I ask you these two colors now, which one is more wonderful to you? Definitely you're going to go for this down one. Now, if you look at this color, you see that it has an effect on the eye. Now, this is what happens when people come to your website. You don't choose the right color to blend. You don't blend the right colors. You understand? Now you are mixing up color that doesn't match. You understand? So you need to be very careful with that. So you need to study more about color combination and the rest of that, so that you know that this color goes with this color doesn't go with this color. Now, once you just mix up color that doesn't go with the other color, you find out that you start playing around with people's eyes, and it might be irritating to your visitors, and they might not want to see what is happening in your site. People might not stay long in your website. So you need to do something that when somebody visits your website, person can spend a lot of time there, playing around, and so that you find out that some of these platforms like Facebook, you go there, you stay a very long time. Now, why are you staying that long time? Because Facebook have taken time to study people's psychology, what people like, what appeal people. You understand? These are the things they do out, so that once you come there as an audience, you stay there. You keep staying there. You don't even know how to go again, because they are actually presenting to you what you need. So the same thing you need to do as a good web designer. You need to study what are the things that actually everybody likes, everybody wants to like. You understand? These are the things you need to put out there for your audience, so that once they visit your site, everybody can relax and say, hey, this is a nice place to be. So okay, well, I think we have talked about this color. So, every color has what it depicts. You understand? So every color have a meaning. So when you're using black, when you're using white, when you're using red, yellow, blue, they all have a meaning. You understand? So imagine you designing a website that is totally red. You know, something might just come into person's heart. Maybe this website is all about love, or probably this website is a demonic website or thereabout. So when you are using color, please always know that color tells much about something. It has a way of affecting people's psychology. So you need to know what are these color people don't like, what are the color people like, what is the color that goes well with everybody. You understand? So these are the things you need to put. So if you are using red, this kind of red, now you need to know that it's not everybody that will like it. It's not everybody who's gonna like it, but there's certain color like white, black, people, everybody just like it. You understand? So you need to know what are the color people generally like and thereabout. So This is composition, balancing things. So I think all those things will be spelled out in the subsequent classes. Now you can see this web's design. This design is made with a white background. You can see how beautiful it is. So when you use a white space on the background, it has this professional look. It look more professional than the one that has a colored background. Let's just look at this. Now this design has a colored background. Now you cannot compare the professionalism of this and this. This one look a little bit more better. When it comes to presentation, it look more better than this one. But that's not what this is talking about. This one is talking about what balancing this. You can see this column, they are well aligned. You can see this column, everything is well aligned. This one is not like you don't put this one here, then this one will now go inside, this one will now come out. So everything is going to align. You can see aligned here and well aligned here. So this is some of the things you need to consider when designing site so that you don't mix up all those things. Now, creative columns and technique. Now, if you look at what this guy did, this design now, you find out that there's a lady here. Now, this lady is on two different background. It's touching the background on top and also touching the background below. You understand? Now, when somebody comes now, the person will be like, wow, how did this thing happen? The lady is touching the white background, also touching the other green background. So now these are all creative techniques you can actually apply to make your website or your web pages look very, very attractive and very nice, so that when somebody comes there, the person will be looking at what the design you did, and it will like appeal to the person that this is really, really nice. You understand? So these are things you need to put in place. Okay, having all these things in mind, what is the web design process? Maybe like when you're done learning this skill you're about to embark on now, definitely, and clients will start coming around so to ask you, hey, how do you I need a website, how do I get one? So definitely you need to interview what your client, know what the client want. Probably you make a freehand sketching about what he's talking about. Maybe somebody say I want an e-commerce site. You can just do a freehand sketching of an e-commerce site. I'll probably do a Makeup could be done through Figma or thereabout. There are people that call the UI UX people. They can do that for you. They normally work hand in hand with the web designer. So when a client come and request for a particular design or something, definitely the job goes to the UI UX people to actually do the prototype. They call it prototype. You understand? After they do the prototype, then the clients look at the prototype and say, yes, this thing is good enough for me. Then you as a designer can now come in to implement. So in other words, you stand as like an engineer, then the UI person or is more like an architect. So the architect does the design, then you as an engineer you implement. You understand? So that's the process. You just keep implementing until you and your client has agreed that everything is okay. Then the person can now pay you off. Everybody goes their way. So some of the interview questions you can ask your client, but though we can still give you more tips on that. You understand? So you need to know what are the core function of the website, what are the branding, the content, the security. All these things are things you need to ask your client and know how much the person has. You understand? Somebody that is paying 500 and somebody that is paying 1 million for a website is not going to get the same results or the same value. So you need to know what their the price, the how much their budgets are, and you also know what to give them. And please don't make blind, though you still know all these things in the letter, this don't make blind conclusion. So make sure you talk things out well with your customer or your client, spell things out, probably write it down. Most importantly, write down the feature, because clients can be very crazy. Once you start work, they'll start bringing other features. They'll say, hey, no, I don't remember this one, or put this one, put that one, put that one. So that's why it's always good to document things so that you can actually reference that, say, hey, this is what we agreed to, I'm going to build for you. So you're going outside the box. I'm going to charge you more for that. So in the later class, we're still going to teach you how to write proposal. We're going to do some other things for you people as the case may be. So sample interview questions, these are just some basic things. You can ask your client, what are the comfort of the site? What are the branding element? Like branding element could be the colors, the logos, and the co. What audience? Very important. Who or what are the audience you are expecting to get in this site? So, whatever audience he has, then that will now give a picture of what the site will look like. So, if it's a church member site, you now know that hey, I'm building something for church people. I don't know to start putting pictures of fine girls and naked people there. So all those things are very important. The content there as well. You need to know the kind of content to put there. Sometimes all these things you request it from your clients. Though sometimes most clients they don't have content. You need to still source that for yourself, or you pay some content creators to create content for you. So also you need to consider security. Based on the person's money, you can buy more security tools for him, just like I said, XSL and other bigger hosting that comes with security features or Cloudflare and the rest of that. You can actually buy them to stop some attacks like DOS attack and the rest of them. So these are the things you can still consider when doing that. So this is basically how a hand sketch looks like. I think I'm going to give you guys an example. I'll give you assignment, sorry. Uh, just sketch out something. Just think of what you want to design within this class as the class progress. Sketch out a design you want to do, a website, maybe using the using your initiative of other websites you have visited. Just draw out something that you might want to do, like hey, I want to design a web page for selling my product. So just do a freehand sketching of how it will look like, and then you can just snap it and share it on the group so that we can actually see that. So this is just a mock-up too. We're not going into that. This is just mock-up too. We're not going in that duration. Now this is more like an implementation. This is Dreamweaver. So even though you guys might be using the VS Code and the rest of that. So okay. So just like I said, just do a freehand sketching. Just an assignment, our first assignment. Do a freehand sketching of what the kind of web page you want to do. Just do a freehand sketching. Just snap it and paste it to the group. We want to see that. Now, before we go, there's something that's very important I want to, discuss with you guys. Now, we really want you guys to go well in this class. I don't know, you guys gonna get a lot of value. I know some of you you might not understand what we're trying to do, but then for those of you that will stay, those of you that will want to participate, trust me, you'll be like, what is happening here? Are we in Nigeria or not? So there's something I want you guys to do now. I want you guys to do now. Now, for you to build your brand, for you to build yourself within this space, you need to tell people what you do. You need to tell people that you are this person. You need to tell people that this is what I'm doing now. Eh? Now, the process of doing this, just like I said in the group, you need to put yourself out there. That's why most of the time you find out that some people, once they are done learning this skill, they're already getting job. Then the other people, after learning, they don't get job. Why? The two difference between them is one know how to market his or herself. The other one doesn't know how to market himself. You understand? Now, when we learned web design, things were a little bit, not like it is now. The internet has made things so easy for people that you can easily market yourself. Unlike when we did, during our time when we learned this thing, WhatsApp was not there. Some of these social media platforms were not there. So we needed to do things ourselves. We needed to go extra mile talking to people, telling them that we are this, we are that. Now you don't need those things now. You need to create a Twitter account. I think you need to do this night. You need to do this night. Go to your Twitter page. Probably maybe I will send a template of what you're going to post. Now, you're going to post there that you have started your journey in web design with Techo. You can tag us. We have a page on Twitter. You can tag us on Facebook. Just do that publicity that you have started this program. Now, every blessed day, as you're doing your tasks, any task you're doing it on your laptop. Once in a while, you screenshot and share it on your page. Share it on your Twitter, share it on your Facebook, share it on your LinkedIn account. These three accounts is very important. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Now, every task you are doing, like today you come, you say, I designed a web page. You screenshot that web page and share it on those pages. You understand? I want you to share your journey, talk about your journey in this process. Now, this is how people get to know you. This is how people start to know that you're actually doing this thing. Now, also in your WhatsApp, don't be shy to do that. Even if you are writing the wrong code, even if you are doing the wrong thing, just don't mind what you're doing. Don't mind what people might say. Although people will definitely encourage you, definitely trust me, but you need to start showing yourself, showing people that this is what I'm trying to do. Definitely, if actually you want to build a career around this field, if you really want to build a career around web design, you need to follow this process. And I'm advising you to start tonight. Share it on those platforms. If you don't have accounts on those platforms, just go and create it. Create account Twitter, create account on Facebook, create account on LinkedIn. This account is okay. You already have a WhatsApp account, so already have a WhatsApp, so you don't need to create that again. So all you need to do is just keep posting the process. Maybe once in a while you do a TikTok video where you're writing a code, post it on your WhatsApp. Trust me, people will start asking you questions. Now, even before you are done learning this thing, trust me, you might even land yourself your first job. Now, what you need to do is you don't need to know everything. You don't even need to start programming. Like when I started programming, I was already getting jobs, but I wasn't doing it myself. I was actually building myself. When I get this job, I give it to my, you know, some of my ogas there in the office there where I was learning. I give them, they do the job, I collect my share, they do the job, I submit it, I claim I'm the one doing it. You understand? Nobody will know that you are not the one doing it. Now, this is just where you start. And one good thing is that when you start getting others, people are trying to tell you do this thing, that part of you will want to learn this more. You want to go deep to learn it faster because you'll be like, I got a job of 450. Okay, okay, let me just give you an example of myself. Now, I think in 2016 or thereabout 17, I don't remember. I got a job of 450,000. I gave it out to somebody. Do you know how much they gave me in that work? Just 50,000. One guy took 400K and put in his pocket just because I'm still learning. You understand? And I don't have the confidence to handle job. You understand? So that for that reason, I was like, see this coding, I must learn it by all means. There's no how on earth I'll collect another 400,000, 450,000 and give it out to somebody and the person just give me peanuts out of my sweat. You understand? So that part of you will now want to learn this thing more, and you just definitely have to give in time and you have to develop yourself. You understand? So please, we are not here to play. I know some of you don't know us. Please, you can Google us, look up us. What we are doing here might look like a child's play. People are just on the WhatsApp group playing around, saying, "Hey, come to the class, don't come to the class." Uh, we are not doing that because we need to do this. We need to do this. This is what we do every year, and we have decided to do this online this time around. This is the first time we are doing this online stuff. So that's why we're just test running because most of our classes are physical in our offices, but we're trying to reach out more to more people this time around so that a lot of people will benefit from what we normally do every end of the year, which is just this boot camp. We help train young people that have interest in this career and bring them into the market. As the next year is coming up, we have new set of people uh, going into different uh, niches to fill up the empty spaces and join the market and so on and so forth. So please don't see this as a play. You understand? You don't know where this will take you to. Some people in this group already know me very well. I've been into this business for quite a very long time. So we are not joking at all, and we will never joke with you. So, and we have a lot of facilitators that will actually help you, groom you to you become better. You understand? So, I really, really appreciate you guys for being part of what we're doing tonight. This is just the first class, and trust me, the other classes definitely you might not be hearing my voice, but those that's going to be handling it, you'll be wowed about what they are doing because these guys are really people that are grounded into this, people that have been doing this for over time now, and they really know what they are doing, and they are going to impact this knowledge on you. You understand? So take advantage of what is happening. If you know people that will benefit from this thing, just call them to benefit because this is just 10,000. Like I told you guys, it's not about the money, but we need to put this money because we want you to be serious. If you don't put the money, people will not be serious. We know how free things. We have organized free training. There's last one we did in our office was uh, free boot camp on mobile app development. People were just playing around with it, and but trust me, the few I think four guys that were serious, all of them are working big companies now. It's no joke. The four guys that are doing it, they are really. I can even share their testimony to you on the WhatsApp group. But the thing is that we don't normally post all these things because we are not here to impress anybody. We're not here to convince anybody to, join what we are doing. What we are doing, we are just doing. If you find out in the group, we are not even posting that this person paid or this person doesn't pay. We don't want to do that because that is not the main aim. We are doing this. We are doing this for those who will be interested. So we want to know out of that in the group there are almost 70 something people there, just less than 10 people that are joined this class. You understand? So that's just what we want to know. We want to know those that are really interested that want to participate. It's not like bringing everybody, and at the end of the day, people will just be dragging others back. And this one will say, I couldn't join today. I didn't join yesterday. I didn't join this one. I missed the class. I didn't do my assignment. We don't want all those things. We want people that are committed, people that really want to get value, people that really want to build a career around these things. So these are the people we are looking out for. And I believe that you guys that are here are those people. So if you are actually the one person, please don't play with this because you don't know where it's going to take you to. Don't play with it. The country is very hard now. Trust me. That's why we do all these, uh, you know, classes to help people. Things are very hard. I can tell you, like my friend, his company, they are laying off a lot of people now. One of my friends here in Enugu that has company, you might know him there. They are laying off their staffs, like they are sacking people currently because of the hard economy. You already know a lot of big companies, Facebook, Amazon, they are all laying off their staffs because countries have a lot of things happening. So what are sustaining people is this tech skill. These are the things that sustain people. You understand? Once you have this tech skill, you can even start teaching this thing on Facebook, run Facebook ads, get people, teach them, and make your money. You understand? There's a lot of way you can actually apply your skill. It mustn't work for anybody. You really don't need to work for anybody before you can make your money. Just like I'm telling you now, my certificate, I don't know where it is. I don't apply for job. You understand? So the same thing can be your own testimony. You don't need to be looking for a job up and down. Just have this skill, learn it very well. Trust me, work will be looking for you once you know what you're doing. You understand? So let me don't talk too much. I really want to appreciate you. I want to end this class before it's just 1 hour. We're almost 1 hour. So I really want to appreciate you all for being part of this thing. So please, the assignment says just do a sketch of what? Do a freehand sketching of any web page you feel like you want to design. Do a freehand sketching of it. Post it to the group. Then the other one is please start sharing your testimony. Let this start this night. Start talking about what you're doing. Go to the Facebook, go to your social media, share it. If you don't know what to do, I'm going to share a template for you. Just say, hey, you are learning web front end web design with TechoCraft. You started a journey in front end web design with TechoCraft. Just share your testimony. Keep talking about it every blessed day. Talk something about what you're learning. Trust me, people will start identifying with you. People will start, you know, liking your pages. People will start connecting. You start seeing people that do the same thing with you. They'll start coming closer to you. You understand? And from there now, people can start saying, "Hey, are you free? I have a job for you. Can you do something like this? Hey, I got a job, but my hands are tied. Can you do it for me?" No, these are things you start seeing. Before you know, you grow very well on this field. You understand? So I really appreciate you guys for being part of this. Once more, my name is Chris, and I thank you guys for joining us tonight. So the next class, I think the next class will be on Monday. Tomorrow is Sunday, so everybody needs to go to church. And so the course outline from tomorrow onwards, from Monday onwards, will be shared as well on the group. So you now see the full layout of everything we're going to be doing in this section, in this class. So from week 1 to the last week, everything will be spelled out. So it's now left for you to bring out time, and I know it's going to be very taxing. It's going to be very taxing. Trust me, it's going to be very taxing. But if you give it your time, trust me, you'll not regret it. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. I think it's time for questions. If you have questions, feel free. You can just unmute yourself and say something. Even the facilitators, if you have something to say, please, you can actually say something. Any questions, observation, anything, comments, any contribution is welcome.
Um, Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, my name is Aban Joseph. I introduced on the first time when we started this. Okay, now from whatever you have heard so far, you should understand like I'm a testimony, right? Yeah, tech has changed my life. Yeah, tech has changed my life from from 0 naira to like I know how much I have currently. Tech has changed my life already. So if you see the course outline, I don't know, I don't need to convince you people. We are not convincing anybody, but go to the course outline and then see what you can learn from the course.
That
Another
use
thing,
this phone call message.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Uh, okay. But the next thing is there are two ways in this.
No,
Either
just
you want to go
comment.
through YouTube, follow Indian guys, and then it takes you a lot of let me see stress, yeah, and then there's nobody to ask questions and mentorship. Or you can just join us and then you have a full mentorship 247, right? So this is the little I can add. So thank you, everybody.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other
Oh, good,
contribution?
good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Munachim, we can hear you.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Sorry. What do you mean by a hand sketch of what we want to do? Like, can you explain that?
Just use like your pen and paper and draw like a web page. You understand?
Okay, okay,
Just a freehand sketching. Just say like you're picturing that you want to design something like this. You have this design in your mind. You want to design it. You want the logo to be here. You want the navigation bar to be here. You want an image to be here. You know, just like let me just show you. Um, this is just a freehand sketching. You can see this. This is a freehand sketching. You can see the logo here, the elements, things here, main picture, headline, write up. You mustn't just design it very well. You can just use a box and use a write up inside it to identify that image supposed to be here. Just put image, logo supposed to be here. Things like just something like this, a freehand sketching of a page you want to, you feel like you want to design in your mind. So probably all of you have visited the website by now. Just think of a website you have visited before, try to mimic what is there, or try to reproduce what is there, and draw out something. Just the first assignment you're going to do. I
Okay.
hope I hope it's clear.
Yeah, yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
So, excuse me. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Mr. Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good evening.
Good
How
evening.
is everything?
I believe
Okay, what I want to ask is, you said the next class is by 9 o'clock on Monday.
exactly.
Okay, okay, that's just what I want to ask.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Aside Monday, which other days do we have classes?
The facilitators will just give you an outline on that. They will share that on the group.
Okay.
Yes, they'll give you guys an outline, a complete outline from beginning to the end. Then it might come with dates. The class is supposed to be 4 times in a week, so that we can cover up everything we need at the maximum, period. Then other resources, we can share other resources for you that can help you to learn at your own pace. You understand? So, but the live section, we are trying to see if we can finish it up as soon as possible. Then, and okay, I think that will be all for tonight. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time. So, see you guys on the WhatsApp group and see you guys on Monday. Good night, everybody.